Hey folks, today is Friday, June 7th, 2024. As usual, my name is Jake Baldino, here to talk about all the video game news that has been going on this week. And clearly, I'm not in one of the places I'm usually. I am in California for Summer Game Fest, which unfortunately the whole Jeff Keighley presentation thing is going on later today, way after we usually upload the Friday show. So there's a bunch of game reveals possibly and news coming that we're looking forward to, but we'll be talking about that in another video. For now, let's get you caught up on the rest of the gaming news that did happen this week. Now, the biggest thing we should start off with is the bombshell report from Bloomberg's Jason Schreier talking about some of what happened with Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. I feel like at this point, every time there's a game that's a failure or a public disaster, Bloomberg has a good report talking to some developers behind the scenes. And with this, with Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, we get a bit more insight into what went wrong. Ultimately, not a ton of surprises. A lot of this is stuff we all could have seen, but it does seem like a lot of it comes down to management and choosing to make a live service game without having too much of a strong idea of what a live service game is or what they really even wanted to make with it, with a kind of culture of, I think it was described as almost like toxic positivity, with developers questioning, why did we switch from Melee to having guns? Why does Captain Boomerang use a gun? What are we doing here? Apparently a lot of those questions and concerns towards the end were like, oh no, it's all going to come together, it's all going to work out, and unfortunately it never did. Then of course the studio heads, the people behind Rocksteady, the two leaders did leave to go work on their own new studio, their own new game partway through the project, which probably caused some issues, but I will link that piece in the description down below if you want to read it. It is very interesting, of course, but the biggest takeaway for a lot of people here is what's up with Rocksteady. What's going on now, right? Everybody's like, oh, they're done for, that's it, but it does seem like they are sticking around. With this report citing Warner Brothers' logic that they still want to expand and make more games, that it doesn't make sense to lose talent or lose labor and cut jobs, with Rocksteady possibly supporting other studios. This report, although it's not confirmed, of course, take this with a grain of salt, but it does suggest that some of the folks at Rocksteady are working on a sort of director's cut special edition re-release of Hogwarts Legacy. Hogwarts Legacy, of course, being a smash hit single-player game for them, you know, the year it released. It just recently got DLC, but I don't know exactly what this means. What is that? Is it just like a re-release with some more content? That smells to me like a cash grab, but it makes sense for Warner Brothers to jump on it because, again, the game was such a big success. But even with that, the report does suggest that leadership at the studio is pitching new ideas to Warner Brothers and suggests that hopefully they're pitching stuff that'll bring them back to basics, a single-player adventure game that brings them back to their roots. That's all we have. We don't know for sure what that is, but it could be literally anything. But I would say the safer bet is established IP. All the big corporations, all the studios right now are banking on established IP, known properties, known things with audiences. So maybe it's another DC game, who knows? Maybe it's another Batman game, who knows? There's a lot of questions in the air recently about Warner Brothers and what's going on, with Greg Miller from Kinda Funny stating from a insider that the Wonder Woman game is facing some trouble. It's kind of why we haven't seen it. So, you know, we don't know what's going on over there at Warner Brothers at all, but at least we get a glimpse that Rocksteady is still hopefully cooking, and, you know, despite a failure, maybe they can turn things around. In other news, man, it's getting crazy out here. Halo on PS5. Yes, the new report from Tom Warren at The Verge is reporting that Xbox is, of course, still working on bulking up and getting their stuff out on other platforms. We've talked about that to death, yes. But the newest thing suggests that possibly there's a new Halo 1 remaster or remake, and it's coming possibly to PlayStation 5. So on the one hand, wow, Halo on PS5, that's crazy. Yes, we'll talk about that. But Halo Combat Evolved Remaster, again, after the Anniversary Edition, I don't know what they're doing here. Maybe they're doing it a little bit differently this time. Maybe they're doing it a little better visually. I don't know. Maybe it's going to be a remaster collection of Halo 1, 2, and 3. If this is even true, we're taking this with a grain of salt, of course. But Halo on PlayStation is very interesting. I don't know, we've talked about how Microsoft is opening up, they're putting their stuff everywhere, they're more into just doing software and publishing and getting their games out everywhere, right? So it usually makes sense, but then when it hits you and it could be something like Halo, that's like, whoa, wow, that's weird. You know, that's like Nintendo putting Donkey Kong on PlayStation. I don't know. If you're just caught up in the old world, like console history, console war stuff, that's where I'm at. But like, if they want Halo to thrive and continue to grow, I guess that's their plan. But I just had to talk about this because this is just wild. Again, if it's true. Either way, though, the fact that it's even a vague reality, it just shows that the times they are a-changing.
Hey, now jumping over here to talk about the sponsor of today's video, Factor. Factor delivers fresh, never frozen, dietitian-approved meals right to your doorstep. It's super easy. Summer's practically here and you want to eat stress-free, right? More time going outside, playing in the sun, going to the beach, or sitting inside playing video games. Factor takes the stress out of meal planning, so you're not spending time at the grocery store or figuring out what to prepare, what to make, what to eat. Here you get chef-prepared meals right on the table in 2 minutes because they're easy to heat up and you're good to go. Choose from a weekly menu of 35 options, which include Calorie Smart, Keto, Protein Plus, or Vegan and Veggie. Plus, when you're on the website, check it out, they got a bunch of cool add-ons as well. This week, what do I got on the menu? I got shredded chicken taco bowl, rice, chicken, green onion, corn salsa, the whole works. So if that made you hungry and now you want to check it out, all you got to do is click the link in the description down below or head to factor75.com. And when you're there, use code gameranx50 for 50% off your first Factor box, plus 20% off your next month of order. So again, that's factor75.com. Use that code gameranx50 for 50% off your first Factor box and 20% off your next month of orders. So check it out, and big thanks to Factor for sponsoring this video. Now I'm gonna go eat, excuse me.
Now, a lot of rumors are coming fast and loose for Summer Game Fest and like what we're going to see announced from these various events. Some things are already leaking, which I don't want to talk about yet too much, just because, again, a lot of this is going down right after this video. But the one thing that has made a lot of conversation this week is the Xbox handheld, the long-rumored Xbox handheld, kind of Steam Deck device, but for Xbox. A news source suggests that it's going to be revealed during Xbox's showcase presentation. Me personally, my feeling, I don't know for sure. I think it might definitely be a thing at some point, but is this showcase the time and place? I don't know for sure. I don't know if we'll see it, but, you know, the prospects are interesting. But something that we do know we're gonna finally get some news on, you know, around this week, it's Dragon Age Dreadwolf. Although Dragon Age Dreadwolf is not called Dragon Age Dreadwolf anymore, now it's called Dragon Age The Veilguard. Interesting title. I like the just throws me off. Drop the. Just Veilguard. I don't know, Dragon Age Veilguard sounds cool. Dragon Age The Veilguard, a little more tricky, but I don't know if we're actually going to see the game this year, like released. I think it's likely, but who knows? Either way, we're getting some information about this, like I said, June 11th. And it's important to note, a BioWare studio head did take to social media and just said, hey, this is a single-player adventure game, no live service, no microtransaction type thing. Of course, we'll see it when we believe it, but that does sound nice. Also this week, there are so many like things going down, so many announcements, presentations, the Jeff Keighley thing, the Xbox thing, Ubisoft is doing a thing, PC Gamer Show is doing a thing, the Future Game Show, all these indie things, Day of the Devs. One thing that already went down that you should check out is the Guerilla Collective. I will link this whole presentation in the description down below. A lot of unique games, I'd say AA games and indie games that seem pretty sweet. I don't have time to talk about them all here, but I will highlight Fallen Aces. This is like an old-timey criminal first-person shooter with an absolutely incredible art style. Like if you're like washing the dishes or walking your dog right now while you're listening to this video, look up and look at this game. It looks sweet. That's Fallen Aces. Also, Hollowbody, to me, it kind of reminds me of like a Silent Hill 1 or 2 from like the old PlayStation days, survival horror, lo-fi experience. Apparently this is being made by one person, and I just like these types of things. We've had a bunch of similar things recently, but this does look pretty sweet. Also, we got like a full reveal for Five Nights at Freddy's Into the Pit. This is the only Five Nights at Freddy's game that has interested me in a while because it's like a 2D horror adventure game. It looks kind of cool. I like that it's called Into the Pit. Is that like a ball pit at like a kid's play place, or is it like get in the pit, get in the pit? No? Anyone? Also, something that was on social media that a lot of people tagged me in, thank you, is this new game called Wrekless. This is a multiplayer skateboarding game. It's like up to 50 people. It's been dubbed Tony Hawk MMO. It's not quite an MMO, but it is 50 players online skating with fun skating gameplay. And yes, you bet your ass when this is out, I am totally getting my hands on it. Also linked below is some news on Astro Bot. It was like one of the only cool big things announced at the State of Play last week. And I'm really excited for this because I love mascot platformers and I love that free PS5 Astro Bot game. So apparently the developer said that this game is going to be their biggest game they've ever worked on. And also there's going to be something like 150 different little Astro Bots inspired by PlayStation characters. We got a glimpse at a Bloodborne one, which is so upsetting because Sony's like, here's some crumbs, you little assholes. Some acknowledgement is nice, but yes, 150 different bots referencing all types of stuff, but apparently these aren't like microtransactions or anything like that, so there's no purchases or multiplayer. It's just a regular old-fashioned game, and I'm excited to see it. Also, I linked a great piece in the description down below, especially because right now, with Summer Game Fest, it's kind of around the time that E3 used to be. So this is a great piece on the life and death of E3. We've all talked about E3 not being relevant anymore and it's shutting its doors, and is it sad? Does it make sense? Whatever. But this does a lot of great history from the early 90s. If you don't know about the history of E3, it's really fascinating, and it was born out of almost this like spite, you know, for the industry to prove itself, with video games not being taken seriously in the 90s. That's stuff like CES, also like in government hearings. So that's part of why E3 was formed. It's a really great piece. It's gamesindustry.biz, good writing, good long form reading with a lot of research. So if you want to check that out, I always say we talk about games so much these days, but like nobody reads anything. Here's a good, actual good read. Also, if you're looking for something to do, maybe you don't want to spend any money. I feel like that's all of us, but Marvel's Midnight Suns is free on Epic. I haven't talked about like free on Epic Games Store stuff in a while. I don't know, I haven't really had any interest, but this one just seems like a good offering. A lot of people really liked Midnight Suns. A lot of people liked it a little bit more than me, but like you can check it out here for free finally. Also, that PlayStation VR 2 PC VR cable is releasing soon. It's releasing August 7th, and I'm actually looking forward to this. If you don't remember, this was announced a while back. It is a special cable or dongle that will allow you to hook up your PlayStation VR 2 to a PC and play PC VR games. Now, of course, that implies that you have to have a PS5, but then now also you have to have a gaming PC. But still, a little bit more flexibility in the VR world, more parity between all these devices, I think is always a good win. I love that the advertisement image that PlayStation put out, it shows Half-Life Alyx, because you bet your ass, if you get this cable, you have a PSVR and you have like a friend's PC or something, the first thing you should play is Half-Life Alyx. I absolutely loved that game. I really hope it all works out. Obviously, this isn't going to like change the world or anything, but more options as players, as consumers, things to buy, to do different things, I think is always good as a tinkerer. I definitely approve. This is also, like I said, releasing August 7th, but it's gonna be like $60. So yeah, that cable is the price of a video game. That's the interesting stuff though. I gotta get back to work. Like I said, check out all the stuff I linked. Most importantly, the Guerilla Collective. See if you find a cool game there for you. A lot of people say like gaming is dead, there are no games anymore. There are plenty. You just gotta know where to look. You just gotta know where to find them. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about the prospects of Halo on PS5. What does that mean for you and your feelings? Let's talk about any of that. Let's talk about Rocksteady'S possible new game. Do you think they're gonna go back to like a DC property? Let's talk anything down in the comments. I definitely want to hear from you. We'll be down there as much as possible, but of course, if you want to yell at me directly, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram and YouTube, anywhere, really, at Jake Baldino. But if you like getting caught up on the news with us every week, clicking the like button's all you gotta do. It really helps us out. And if you're new, maybe considering hitting the notification bell, because we put out videos every single week. But either way, it doesn't matter. All I ask is that if you like what we do here and just catch you up on the news every week, clicking the like button does help us. Thank you. That's all we ask. But really, the only other thing I would ask is that, number one, I'm Jake Baldino, but you have a great weekend. Be safe. Pizza's on me. Now back to Summer Game Fest.